Welcome to the Code with Jason meetup. Here's what we're going to be looking at today. So I've been working on this product called SaturnCI, which James, I know you're familiar with, of course. Mike, do you happen to be familiar with this thing that I've been working on?
No.
Okay, yeah, it's a continuous integration platform, apples to apples with like Circle CI and GitHub Actions and that kind of thing. Or at least that's the vision. It's very early right now, and the product barely does anything. Um, and I've been working on getting my first couple customers onboarded. And my expectation was that as the first few people would get onboarded, it would uncover defects and stuff like that, or missing features, that kind of thing. And it certainly has. And the most recent thing is getting set up is just like too clunky. I'm not going for like a total self-serve model yet, but even when I'm like explaining it over a call to people, it's just like too clunky and hard to do and stuff like that. So I wanted to add some things or change some things to make all that easier. So whereas before there was a sign up button that looked very similar to this default gray button, now we have this big green sign up with GitHub button to make it just unmistakable what I want you to do. And when you click that button, since I'm already signed up in this environment, I believe, yeah, it just signs me in when I click sign up. And I think my test suite even passes, but there are still some problems. So yeah, my test suite passes. So no issues there, but there's still some problems. And let me see if I can uncover them. So we had a problem previously where the sign up page would show when it's not supposed to. And I think I took care of that one. Um, but there is another issue, I think, where if I just go to localhost 3000 with no path after it, yeah, it just takes me to the sign in page. And I don't want the bare route to take me to the sign in page. I want it to show this page. So let's make that happen. Oops. Okay. So I struggled with this a bit the other day. How do you have two different route routes based on whether you're signed in or not? Um, and ChatGPT gave me a certain answer to that question, but it didn't actually work. And so I'm still at square one with that pretty much. So what I want is when you go to the root, when you're not signed in, like I said, I want it to go to the sign up page. And when you go to the root, when you are signed in, I want it to take you to this projects page. So the signed in version is handled, but the unsigned in version is not. And of course, if I just change this to marketing home, then that solves it for the unsigned in version. Whoops, I didn't mean to do that. That solves it for the unsigned in version. But then when I do sign in, we get some weirdness.
This seems to me to be something that should be handled in a controller, not in your routes file.
Yeah, how would that go?
Well, it seems to me like uh, in your controller, you would, you have your way of determining if you're signed in or not. And you
Hmm.
just choose which page to render based on that. Like I think maybe it's not convenient to do with the like the conventions that are there because it wants to hook things up in a certain way with the
Actually, I'm realizing something. I've been thinking about this wrong. Um, like when you are signed in, you shouldn't be prohibited from visiting the public route because I feel like that would be kind of weird if you were.
right.
Um, so maybe the answer is not to have the root route go to a different place if you're signed in, because then it would no longer be true that you can visit the public root route. Um,
But to change its purpose, maybe.
well, I
I,
think it
I,
can only have one purpose. Like,
right,
uh,
right. But I mean, to change it based on like right now, it seems to be the purpose is to sign you up. But you're saying instead it should show you some default, like this is Saturn CI. And if you're not signed in, then it shows this part on that page. But if you are signed in, then it doesn't show this.
part of that, yes, but not all of it. I think what I'm coming to now is that the Saturn CI link here, which currently just goes to the root, it shouldn't go to the root. It should go to um, maybe that shouldn't even maybe that shouldn't even be a link. Hmm. Yeah, that kind of cuts the Gordian knot, I think, if we just get rid of that link. Okay. If it's not clear what I'm talking about, hopefully it will be in a second. Layout application. Yeah, so we have this link to root path. I want to just not have that. Maybe we still at least have the word Saturn CI, but not as a link.
But it seems to me like what's the Saturn CI homepage?
The Saturn CI homepage is this.
Is it though? Like if you're signed in and you go there, like I know it is now, but I'm just saying, what do you want it to be? How do you want that page to act?
Oh, good question. And you're forcing me to confront a bigger, more annoying can of worms that I didn't want to, but it's probably appropriate for me to confront it. Um, which is that there's the application and there's the marketing site. And right now, for expediency, I'm just letting those two things be the same thing. Um, in production, we have app.saturnci.com. And ultimately, I'm imagining that there will be SaturnCI.com, which is the marketing site, and then app.saturnci.com, which is the application. But again, right now, there's there's not those two separate things. There's just this single single entity, the single program that does both.
I see. Then yeah, because kind of what I was thinking of was like, what's the homepage of the app? You're saying that's not this. The app is like when you're signed in already and
Yeah,
it comes up to make say maybe this is the homepage for the app.
that's a good question of what is the homepage for the app. Um, because in a sense, it's this. Um, this is, I'm
Yeah,
imagining most people who use this will kind of have a primary app that they're using it for, primary project they're using it for. And so you'll rarely want to visit a page other than this. Like when you sign in, you'll rarely want to be presented with a page other than this. So I kind of think of this as the home page. But
What if a user,
mhm.
so this assumes that you know which project, this is like the project page for Saturn CI slash Saturn CI, right?
Yeah. And to
And
make it less
so,
confusing, I'll go to this other project that's not SaturnCI.
yeah. So then, the question for me was, as a user, as I'm going through here, what would I expect that Saturn CI link to take me to?
Well, I made it not a link anymore.
Right, right. But I think
But
because
if it was a link, where would it go?
I think typically that you would expect that to take you to the quote unquote homepage, right?
Right, that's the convention.
So what is that? What is that here? So like this is like your default project. Is that what you want when you click that?
Yeah, I guess the home page, I'm not sure. Maybe it'd be the projects page.
What is installations?
This represents all of my instances of installing the Saturn CI GitHub app.
And in other words, the in GitHub, what repo you've installed this app into? Is that what you're talking about?
I believe so, yes.
Okay. So
It's
that way you
not the
get,
clearest concept and it might need some work.
yeah, this seems like a settings, something I would throw under settings kind of a thing ultimately. Where it is now is fine since there isn't much here.
Yeah.
Then you have like your projects that lists everything. And
Hmm.
then you have, what's the drop down to the right of projects? That's the same thing. Okay.
Yeah, I'm not sure if this is gonna stay or not. I'm not sure that this actually is that compelling, but yeah, that's what that does.
How come one of them had billing show up? Or do they billing show up for all of them when you have a project selected?
Apparently, billing only shows up for the one, which is interesting. I have no idea why that is.
Where was Billy? I didn't see that.
Oh, in between installations and projects, a billing link shows up.
Yeah.
I don't know why it's not there for Saturn CI, and I don't know if that's the most appropriate place for that even to be. So I think what this is forcing us to do, which is good, is to like zoom out and think about the bigger picture a little bit.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Because I feel like we have some ideas of some features that this thing should do, and we've represented them here, but we haven't necessarily
Mhm.
uh, organized it in any
Yeah.
way.
Yeah. And something that really bothers me about both Circle CI and GitHub Actions is that what you might call the information architecture is, in my opinion, corrupt. Like it's hard to form a mental model of where you are and where you are in relation to other places you could be. Um, Amazon, I think, does a pretty good job of always showing you where you are, giving you a clear idea of where you are. Um, I picked a bad example because, like, what the heck am I looking at now? I'm trying to get to just a product page. Yeah, here we go. So I'm clearly oriented at a project page, and this navigation is pretty clear. I don't know if I go to orders or something. This navigation is all pretty clear. It's not perfect, but it's never am I on Amazon and I get confused about where I am. I'm only a pretty superficial user of Amazon, um, but in my superficial usage, I never get confused about where I am. I cannot say the same for CircleCI and GitHub Actions. I get disoriented quite a bit.
When you, I, I've used CircleCI very little.
Hmm.
I've used GitHub Actions a lot more, and I don't necessarily feel like I guess there are some things it's hard to understand. Like it does have like a hierarchy of objects that it represents in its UI, and I would maybe agree with you that it's hard to understand where you are in that hierarchy sometimes.
Yeah, and it's sometimes just physically difficult to get to the information you want to because
Yeah.
you have to do a lot of scrolling up to get to the information.
Okay. Um, I feel like for the app, I guess, Saturn CI app,
Hmm.
like right now you have projects and you have these things in the list on the left, which I guess are runs or whatever we call them, builds.
Hmm. Hmm.
Um, and then installations is a almost a I don't know, you could almost view that as a like something within a project, right? There's like a got to be a one-to-one correspondence between installations and projects, right?
Um, each installation has zero or more projects.
Oh, okay. What is a click add project and let me just see what the data is on that page that comes up.
Sure. I think that'll show me a bunch of repos. Oh, okay. In this case, just one. Oh, yeah, because that's the Saturn CI organization and it only has the Saturn CI app. But if I go to Jason Sweat,
Oopsies.
it apparently gives me an error. Okay. And that is because right now the management of your various GitHub installations and stuff like that, it's just very it's just very incomplete and poor right now. And so I think actually these top two installations are orphaned. Whoops, didn't mean to do that.
I
But I think
see.
these top two are orphaned.
Well, to try to get us back on track to the high
Hmm.
level of what we were talking about, it feels like to me there's just it's not real clear through the UI like what how things are related together and what the domain is.
Exactly.
And I think once you answer, maybe take some time to think through that, uh, then what to make your homepage maybe will be kind of obvious based on that.
Yeah, well, there's a couple things that I'm thinking here. Um, One is that maybe this page here shouldn't be inside of my Rails application. I can just have a static HTML page with this on it. Because we don't even need to know if we're signed in, then like whatever. Plenty of sites have the thing where you're already signed in, but it still shows you a sign in link and you click on it and it's like, oh, okay, I'm already signed in. And I've never been annoyed to click a sign in link only to just be put in the signed in area and find that I'm already signed in. Like that's fine.
Yeah. That page though that has the sign up link, I mean,
Hmm.
it's not the sign up page. It's the marketing page, right? Which presumably would have a lot of other stuff on it.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. Um, yeah, I mean, to me, this almost doesn't, uh, I see. Okay. Uh,
So
what happens if you go to the app page and you're not signed in?
if you go to the app page and you're not signed in.
Yeah. Do you want it to, or what do you want it to do?
Oh, like if I try to go to like some project or something,
Yeah.
yeah, it just presents me with the sign in page.
Okay.
Um, yeah, so here's what I think I might want to do. Um, this is the Rails app. Here's the website. Okay, and it doesn't have any HTML or anything yet, but it can.
So the intent is that's the marketing website.
Yeah. So I think we can just like deploy this right now. We can do a really rough first version of it. Um, so marketing home. User GitHub OmniAuth authorized path. Is that something that can be like static? Oops. Oh, there could be a static page for this because we could just have it be like localhost 3000 slash, I don't know, sign up or something like that. And if you come here, then it just redirects you to that. It just redirects you to user GitHub OmniAuth authorized path. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Yeah. So let's do that. Okay. Saturn CI. Um, app.saturnci.com slash, I don't know what we want. I'll just say sign up. Sign up with GitHub.
Is there a way to not sign up with GitHub, or like because of the nature of it, it will always be signing up with GitHub?
For the foreseeable future, always GitHub, only GitHub. Okay, now I can say add index. My goodness. Okay, so here's my new marketing site. Looks worse than the old one, but that's okay. So I can push that. Now we have this index here. And now we should be able to set up GitHub pages. Um,
It's right in the right above custom properties, above the line break.
thanks. Okay. It says it's already live. Oh, wow. Okay. All right. I don't even care about getting the domain right yet. Um, so obviously if we click this, it's like not going to do anything. Yeah. So we need sign underscore up to work. Okay.
And so that'll be a route that goes to a controller that then redirects you to the OmniAuth business. That's what you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. And I'm gonna say goodbye to this improved sign up branch that I've been working on because none of that stuff really applies anymore. Rails generate controller sign up. I guess it'll have to be signups. You know, I'm conflicted. Devise Rails routes grep. I don't know, user. Devise has this like user registrations create action. Um, and I think that concept makes a lot of sense. We treat a registration as a resource and we create one. At the same time, it might feel weird to have a route that kind of conflicts with devise or like mirrors it in a way that misleads one into thinking that it is a devise route when it's really not. Oh, we could call it something like
Why don't you just call it GitHub sign up?
well, I was going to say something like that, something like GitHub registrations.
Sure.
Maybe that's not quite it.
It doesn't feel like a resource though. I mean, uh, I don't 100% know what that thing actually does,
Um,
but
oh, now comes the time when we have to like uninstall and all that stuff. Okay, hang on a second. It's like a no, it's really a GitHub authorization. We're authorizing the Saturn CI app. It's a Saturn CI authorization. It's a Saturn CI GitHub app authorization. Saturn CI GitHub authorization. Yes, it's a Saturn CI GitHub app authorization. Saturn CI GitHub app authorization. Okay. And before I even go any further with this, I'm going to go over to my index here because this will take a minute to update. Um, Saturn CI GitHub app authorizations. New, I suppose. Yes. Okay. Oh, I accidentally made it singular instead of plural. Let me undo that. Okay. Okay. And I didn't mean to go here. I meant to go to the controller. And we want a redirect here. Um, let's see. User registration. Sign up. I'm looking for the sign up page. Sign up with GitHub. Okay. Yeah, this is what I was looking for. Yes. Okay. I was looking for that path. Yeah, so redirect two, is it going to be smart enough to autocomplete it? Not so far. User GitHub. Yes. Can you do a redirect that's a post?
Uh, I don't know, but it would, look on the redirect function to see if it takes a method or something like that.
I mean, just with HTTP in general, aside from Rails, is that even a thing you can do?
Oh, you know what? I don't think it is.
Yeah. The heck is this?
When it
Interesting.
posts, why is it doing a post? Is it passing uh something else with it?
I don't believe so. So I don't
Okay.
know why it would need to be a post, but apparently it does need to be a post. Um, OmniAuth controller. Hmm. Yeah, I don't think this is giving me any clues. Why does it need to be a post? Oh, it expects a post request with a valid CSRF token. Interesting. Okay. So I guess we can try its thing. So in our new action, to me, I think we just don't actually need anything here. And then in our new page, we can take this, but the redirect can be user blah blah blah. Hmm. Post redirect form. Interesting.
Seems a little hacky. Feels it, let's say. But let's see what happens.
Um, yeah, I wouldn't debate that, but I think it superficially appears hacky, but I think if you got down to it and tried to explain what exactly about it is like bad, I don't think there is anything to it that's actually bad. Um, okay. So it was Saturn CI GitHub app authorizations new. Hmm. Can't verify CSRF token authenticity. Okay. I'm not terribly shocked by that. How about let's ask it to do this using a Rails form helper. Do this using a Rails form helper instead. Okay. Apparently, if we do that, we don't need to explicitly have the tags. I'm gonna close this. Um, yeah. Ah, how about that?
What happened now?
So I went to that Saturn CI GitHub app authorizations new path,
Hmm.
and it took me to here.
And yeah, but why did it work this time where it didn't before?
Because apparently the CSRF token was good this time. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I don't know why it was good this time and not last time. That's what I'm asking, I guess.
Well, um, I'm not surprised that it works under this code, and I'm not that surprised that it didn't work under this code because, like, what would this CRS, CSRF meta tags, like, what would that be connected to? I don't know the details of how it works, but just like, I don't know. Intuitively, it's not that surprising that this like weirder, hackier thing didn't work.
Okay.
And I guess it's maybe not that profitable to get down to the exact reason why it didn't work. Um, okay. So that worked. So let's see. I think now what I want to do is commit and run the tests and then deploy. What did I modify in the routes? Oh yeah, we added this.
Yeah. Do you expect your tests to all succeed?
Yes, because we didn't modify anything. We just added something off to the side.
All right.
I think maybe I want a test for this, but we'll see. Um, oh wait, let me make sure my inflection is correct for this because I'm not sure that it's gonna be. Okay, yeah, it is Saturn CI. Okay. It bugs the hell out of me when I
Okay.
work on an application and it has like API like that instead of API.
hmm
Yeah, it's just one of those little things. It's like, why be sloppy?
I think I've done that exact thing before, and it was my thinking was why fight uh, the inflector thing
Oh,
that I
okay.
have to go define a. You can define you can tell the inflector library and active support like certain things are acronyms and not to camel case them weirdly or whatever else
Yeah,
you were doing.
I already have a bunch.
Yeah.
Mhm. Okay, so my tests are running. I'm actually not even going to wait for them to. Oh, I was going to deploy, but then I remembered deployments never work on Zoom calls. So I guess I'm not going to deploy right now. Okay.
You could throw caution to the wind.
Ha. Yeah,
Does it
I've
mess things up?
it's just pointless. I've tried enough times now where I'm confident that it'll never work. Okay. So now I'm going to go back to the website repo. Website settings, pages. Okay. And of course, it's live here. And I can see that the URL is correct now. Um, but it's not at SaturnCI.com. So let's configure this custom domain. Okay. What am I looking at exactly? Configuring a custom domain for your GitHub Pages site. Okay, yes. Am I supposed to click on this now? Yeah, great.
Yeah, I don't know how this works. I've never done a custom domain.
I have before, but oh, you know what? Well, SimCity Ruby uses GitHub pages. I don't know if that'll like shed any light on it. Um, yeah. Okay. Pages. Yeah, so this goes to SimCityRuby.com.
But
Ha,
won't it
DNS
take
check in
over
progress.
your domain?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
Yeah, right now it's just dead anyway.
Ah. Oh, because you've got the everything else serving on app.cc.
Yeah. Okay. So it looks like there's some actual meaningful stuff here. Okay, it looks like I do the custom domain first. Oops. I will save that. Okay, the DNS check is in progress. And what does this say? We'll create a commit that adds a CNAME file directly to the root of your source branch. Okay, let's see if that is there. Um, code. Okay, CNAME. Okay. Navigate to your DNS provider and do this stuff. Okay, so we'll go to dnssimple.com. Okay. Password reset required. Okay, continue without resetting your password. Great. Domain names. I guess I could have done this. SaturnCI.com. Great. All right. Bad UX example, ladies and gentlemen. What's the most common thing you want to do with your domain? Manage the DNS. But it doesn't take me there initially. I have to go to DNS. Okay, and then I have to do that. That's fine. And then I have to go down here to DNS records. Yes. Great. Okay. Now I'm just curious, do I have to change the name servers? Kind of surprised that there's none of that. Um,
I think this is what I meant when I said, isn't it going to just take over your whole domain?
um,
Like all of SaturnCI.com, including any subdomains like app.saturnci.com.
yeah, I guess I forgot that the way it works right now is that DigitalOcean is it like kind of took over. I'm pointing the whole thing at DigitalOcean. So maybe I have to do the configuration over there. Okay, domains, SaturnCI.com. Okay, so SaturnCI.com, edit record. Okay, let's see what we're supposed to do that with that. I actually want a www.
I was going to say that. Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm going to delete that one. I'm going to add a new one. Um, www, and we'll point that here.
I don't know much about this, but I see like two A records for SaturnCI.com still left after you deleted one.
Oh yeah, that's kind of weird. I'll just kill those.
Yeah, I don't know. You just seems weird to me.
Mm-hmm. Can't imagine what purpose those could serve. Okay. And I don't use staging.saturn.ci anymore, so I'll just delete that while I'm here. Okay, that all looks fine. Oh, right. Yeah, I'm not using a wildcard. Blah, blah, blah. Okay. Okay. And I guess it wants me to add multiple A records, so I guess I'll do that. Okay. Okay. Now I guess I'll take its advice and do this. Did not mean to do that. Instead of example.com, we want www.saturnci.com. Okay, seems to be correct.
So now, can you just go to it in your
Let's see.
browser?
Seems too good to be true if that works already.
Boom.
Wow. It says not secure, but we can deal with that. Okay, so I'm going to refresh this. Okay, enforce HTTPS. Oh, please wait for the DNS check to complete. Okay, maybe that will just take a little bit. Um,
Click,
okay.
click the link. Does it work?
Well, it doesn't go to anywhere yet
Ah,
because I haven't deployed because deployment doesn't work on Zoom.
sorry. Yeah, you said that.
Yeah. But right after this, I can deploy it, and in theory, I can go to www.saturnci.com, click sign up with GitHub, and see that GitHub authorization page. There is a problem right now in that even if I'm already signed in, I notice that I can go to here and it'll ask me to reauthorize.
Ah, and then what happens after you finish the authorization?
Good
Where does it
question.
put you?
Says I'm being redirected. Okay.
Huh. Oh, that's good. I mean, that's probably something you set up before, so that still works as before.
Yeah, that just goes to the callback URL that I configured. And if I do that again, does it do the same exact thing again? Oh, no, it doesn't. Interesting. Maybe it was just because of a different token or something like that. Who
Maybe.
knows? Yeah. And let's check on the tests. Yeah, the tests passed. Okay. Okay. Well, once I get the SSL squared away and the most recent version deployed, it'll be ready for the world. Not really, but kind of.
One step closer.
Yeah, exactly. And good timing. We're at roughly the end of the hour. So thanks guys for coming, and I will see you next time.
Sounds great, Jason. Take care.
All right, bye
Yep.
guys.